Was it made clear to Mr. Cameron that the Sun would be endorsing the Conservative Party?
It was made clear to Mr. Cameron by me that after discussions with the editor and the leadership at News International and my father, that autumn, the Sun would either be endorsing the Conservative Party or certainly, moving away from its traditional or recent support of Labour, as it had been through the summer.
Yes. And this must have been welcome news to Mr. Cameron, wasn't it?
It seemed that way.
Yes. Did you discuss the timing of the Sun's endorsement?
We discussed doing it at the end of the plan that the editors had was that it would be at the end of the conference season if it happened, because the editors wanted to see what things came out of the conferences, particularly the Labour conference, whether or not they would, what they would say.
But wasn't there a discussion that we'll endorse you at the best possible moment, the worst possible moment for Mr. Brown, as it happens, the very day of his speech to the Labour Party conference? Was there a discussion on that basis?
I don't remember the specificity of that, but I just for clarity, I think it was the day after was the article that was really more focused on Labour's record than it was an endorsement of the Conservatives.
It would not have been a desirable outcome had there been a Labour victory, at least as regards the fate of the BSkyB bid, would it?
I think it was never a calculation, the BSkyB bid and the Sun, if that's what you're saying. We never made, and I would never have made that sort of kind of a crass calculation about what the newspapers did. It just wouldn't occur to me.
The fate of the bid was very much in your mind on the 23rd of December 2010, wasn't it?
It was a big question mark about what would happen going forward, but there was no discussion with Mr. Cameron other than as I've detailed in my witness statement, which is simply he reiterated what he had said publicly, which is that the behavior had been unacceptable, and I imagine I expressed the hope that things would be dealt with in a way that was, appropriate and judicial. Our only concern during this period was that the correct and appropriate legal test was applied to this transaction, and I would have said it to anyone who would listen. But it was a tiny side conversation ahead of a dinner where all these people were there, so it wasn't really a discussion, if you will.
Broadcasting rights in relation to the Premier League would be... Yes, Mr. Hunt was, of course, a huge ally of News International, wasn't he?
I wouldn't describe it that way, no. I mean, I don't think so.
Well, according to what was then on his personal website, he was. You've seen that, haven't you, Mr. Murdoch?
Yes, I saw it in the evidence you put here. It was the first time I'd seen it.
Like all good Conservatives, Hunt is a cheerleader for Rupert Murdoch's contribution to the health of British television.
I don't think you have to be an ally. I don't think you have to be an ally of the business to conclude that. It's the fact.
Well, there's a bit of opinion wrapped up in that fact, isn't there, Mr.
The cheerleading part, yes, but the contribution has been significant.
He said very specifically that he was keen to get to the same outcome and wanted JRM to understand he needs to build some political cover on the process.
Which I took to mean, basically, he didn't want to take any heat alone. I had never met a politician who did. And he was about to go and do something that we wouldn't like, and he wanted us just to be quiet about it while he went out and consulted on the undertaking.
Yes, but you got some solace, though. He said he would get there at the end, and he shared our objectives.
Which,
Pardon me?
All of these things from politicians you take with a grain of salt.
Yeah, but if it weren't for the public relations disaster of the Guardian piece on the 5th of July 2011, you would have got the remaining shares, wouldn't you?
I can't speculate. He never ended up making that decision.
Thank you. 10 o'clock tomorrow.
All rise.